Do you find it challenging to delegate tasks to a virtual assistant or to communicate visual requirements? In this video, I teach a 72-year-old to effectively share visual requirements with a virtual team member using simple tools like mindmaps for grouping and ordering, online documents for copy and content, and video snippets for bringing it all together in a way that the virtual assistant understands what is needed. This video will show how you can create repeatable processes and tasks for your virtual team and making remote teamwork a breeze. Now, I'm about to ask Harry what problem he's actually facing, and this was his statement.
I was trying to write out what I wanted her to change on my website. I was handwriting it and you were saying, no, use the website.
She's about to come on in. Hi, Jane.
Hello, G.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, David. Hi, Sir Harry.
How are you?
Doing good.
So I'm going to give you some context of what we're doing today, Jane. I'm bringing you involved into this because I think it's good for you to understand this process as well, okay?
Okay.
I've had the development over here, and what we're going to change this to 26 of June requirements. And what we're going to be doing with this mind map is giving a list of tasks or actions for you, Gene, to do. So they'll be listed like this: action number 1. Then there'll be action number 2. And if there are subpoints, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. What you've got as capability within MindMeister is the ability to add emojis. So if we go over to this little emoji button over here on the right, so you click on the emoji button here, and then you click the emoji here. And I like to use the green, the orange, and the black. What I'm trying to convey here is that this action has not been done, or maybe you've got another rule that you want for black. This action has been done. This action is partially done. And maybe we can, from a sub-action, go, this one is done, but this one is not done. Okay? Why I like this as a technique is that it's like a project management tool. It's very visual in nature. It's not good for bigger projects, but it's very good for a task-oriented set of steps that we want to do through the week. Then the second thing that we want to do is, and we'll pop this over on the left, I think, is we'll have visual definition of what we want to work through. So let's just shrink that down a little bit. How do I go into the admin? It's /WP admin, is it?
Yep, correct.
It's a WordPress site. Though that was actually incorrect, I'm going to press escape because we are really only interested in the signed in user view of things. So if I'm a signed in user, how do I see my profile right?
Okay, if you are a signed-in user, you can go to the dashboard.
So I'm clicking on
And
my
then,
dashboard.
yeah. And then you can either, that's all the profile that you have. You can either go to that or customize my account where you can see your name.
Cool. So what we're really trying to do here, though, is that Harry has some requirements that he wants to communicate to you about things to do. So now it's over to Harry. If I was on this particular screen, I'm signed in as John Reed. I'll just ask Jean, is John Reed a major account or a sub account?
It is a master or a major account.
Harry, when you look at this screen, is there anything wrong with this particular page?
It's not what I would have picked. I haven't really analysed it. That's what you get, and I didn't know you could change things.
What would you like to change? It's obviously not this page. So what's something else that you would like to change?
The About Us page was one of the pages I was going to talk to Jen about later on.
I'm going to do another one while we're here because I just see this as being an issue. Now, let's say the page we want to change, and I like to copy the URL. So I've gone up here to the address bar. I've selected all the text, and I might say something like dashboard, because that's where we're at. And we might step back a bit and say we are in as a master account. So this is giving us context. Are we a master account? Are we a sub account? Are we an administrator of the system? So we'll say master account, and then we'll go dashboard. And then I'll just paste that link that I copied over here. And what that means is that if Gene or if another user is looking at these tasks, they can quickly go to the page that you are seeing. So this is Harry's point of view. This is Jean's point of view. And Harry would like her to work on the dashboard. So she just comes here and clicks on this link. And suddenly the page that he's talking about is actually available for her to do a change on. Then what happens is Harry says, I don't like that the menu has wrapped down onto a second line. Harry might say, issue with menu on narrow display. There can be various ways this problem can be fixed. The normal one with web design is HTML hamburgers. I'm not expecting you to remember this, but let's just see what they are for now. And a hamburger menu is when you see those three little slashes. But the thing is, Harry might say to you, need a hamburger when menu is too wide. And you go, okay, that's on the dashboard. The reality is that this is not just about the dashboard. This would be every page where the menu happens. So I've just made that minor change. I'm not suggesting you do this. This is about training for both of you on how we start setting up our sitemap, going to different pages, documenting them as a node in the mind map with just a little bit of brief information about what we would like to do. We have a hyperlink in the form of that little attachment icon so that when you're giving the mind map to someone else, they can easily navigate to the concept in query. And a bit later, we'll show how we would record a video for this so that we deliver the requirement or the action plan for the week in a simple video of this as well. Coming back to you, Harry, what was the page you wanted me to go to? You wanted me to go to the About
Us page, yeah.
Okay, we're now on the About Us page. So the next thing I do from the master account point of view or from the website point of view, because something like the About Us is not related to an account. So this might be just general, okay? So general, we have About Us. I like to come up here and grab the URL, paste it in so that the person that you're giving the information to can easily come over here and just open up that website from the mind map. You're going to give me just some brief understanding of what is wrong with this page.
Okay, there's a section there about the sellers. Now, I just can't see. Keep scrolling down a bit. No, keep scrolling down a bit there. Just slow down there. Oh, yeah, the reason why sellers prefer hair and beauty salons, where it's got the three lines there, to reposition, it says lowest price to list for sale. I want that to be the second line and only hair and beauty salons listed as the first line. Where you were just there now, that's reasons why sellers prefer hair and beauty salons. The first line read, lowest price to list for sale. I want that to be the second line. And the first line will read, only hair and beauty salons listed.
Okay, we've never had that there. If we verbally tell someone this, that won't be enough.
I changed the copy once I started to read it in detail.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say reasons why sellers just for now. But I'm not going to do the whole thing. That's not needed. It's just a bit of a guide. This is something that Gene needs to go and change. We're going to say arrange the lines, add in, maybe we can just say new text. Tell me exactly what you'd like there, Harry.
The first line was going to read only hair and beauty salons listed. The second line was going to read lowest price to list for sale. And the third line was going to read quick contact between buyer and seller.
Now, what I'm doing in the mind map here, I personally wouldn't have done it this way. I don't know whether you've written it onto a paper notebook or whether you've got it in a Google Doc. But let's say it was a Google Doc. I might actually take that text and put it into a Google Doc because it's really easy to share with Gene that way. I think for the example, we'll do that. So we just go over to docs.google, create a new document. We might call the document the same as what we've done on the mind map. So we'll say June 26 changes, something like that. We might go back and just say about us. So that's the page we're going to affect.
Is Google Doc the equivalent to Microsoft Word?
It is. But what I like about Google Doc is it's so easy to share a document online and have it really collaborative, and it's free. No one needs to pay for it. I haven't used Word for many years now, so maybe a lot of these features are in there. And I don't mind if you use Microsoft Word. Use whatever you like, so long as it's a document system that's collaborative and free for the people that you're working with. So about us, reason why sellers, and we can come back here. I'm going to copy these over into that document. As I said to you before, you probably don't need to write this into the mind map at all. It's just easier when it's just copied to put it straight into here. We just take the stuff that mattered. The reason also that I like to deliver it this way rather than say a screenshot or images or anything like that is that you can check your spelling. So here's a great example. The spelling is wrong. You can check it, Harry. You can make sure that the content is what you want it to say. If you don't want it to have capitals all the way through, you can change it. You can do whatever you want. Only hair and beauty salons listed. Maybe you want a capital L. I don't know. But the good thing is that the person doing the work, all they've got to do is come and copy it and paste it into the appropriate spot on the website. Another thing we can then do here is we'll click the share button because we do need to make this document available. We hit share and we will, maybe it's anyone with a link would be fine. Are they a viewer or are they editing it? In this case, it could be either, whatever you like. We make a copy of that link. We're going to need to give that to the person getting the requirements. So reasons why sellers, we can maybe get rid of that and say, here's the details and paste in the link. So now we've got that link. Let's make this a video task. Often I would do one video for everything that we're going to do, but I'm going to keep this very actionable items that can be checked off for now. Let's start up Loom, hit start recording, and select the area of the page that we're interested. And so, hi Gene, this is the first item I want you to do. It's just a general purpose item on the About Us page. You can see the About Us page here. I've put a hyperlink in it for you. What I need you to do is go down to the reason why sellers, and if you scroll down the About Us page, you can see it right there. And I need you to do a bit of line rearrangement for me, please. What I need is for this line to be on the second line. Actually, when I look at this text, I realize that some of this text is not right. So what I've done is I've given you also a link to a little Word document here or a Google Doc. And can you just make sure that these three lines in this order say these words? Thank you. There we've got the first task. Yeah, there we got the first task as a 1-minute video. Now, once you get good at this, it shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to create each task, Harry, and they're very actionable now. So let's just hit play. I've got it on 2x5 speed, so this is going to go very fast. We'll hit play. Hi, Gene. This is the first item I want you to do. It's just a general purpose item on the About Us page. You can see the About Us page. You see what it is. So now the next thing that we can do is take that link and we can come back to our mind map, say to do, right, just paste the link in. There we go. We're done. So let's go and move on to the next task that we would like to assign for the week. If we back up one point, I love using the mind map as an organization tool, but it might still be smarter to use a project management tool with the same hyperlinks. You still do the Word document, you still do the Loom, but you put everything as tasks in a project management tool, ClickUp or whatever you want. If you're not to the level where you're using a project management tool yet, the mind map is just a very simple solution. Is there anything else on the About Us page that needs to change, Harry?
Yep, with the buyers section, when it got reasons why buyers.
You got reason why buyers prefer.
And there were the 3 lines that are there now. I wanted to change them. The first one was going to read only hair and beauty salons, all in one place.
Hold on one sec. I'm going to go back to our document here and say reasons why buyers.
Only hair and beauty salons, all in one place. Yeah, after salons.
Great. Next slide.
Direct contact between all parties.
Next slide.
A salons available around Australia. Make that Australia-wide.
What I'd do here, now that we've got that, we'll go back to our reasons why buyers. And to do, remember, was a Loom. So maybe you say that, Loom. We can take a copy of the details that we did there and we can just reuse them again. So that's fine. Or you just say all the details are here. The good thing about a mind map is that I can delete and move stuff around. If I see I've got the same information twice, I don't have to repeat it twice. I just move it to a higher level node and go, that's on its own. There's the details. When Jean clicks on it, she now sees the stuff about reasons why buyers, and she sees the stuff about reasons why sellers, and the stuff for reasons why buyers. They're both there. Now we go and create another to-do. So we go to-do, or we just say Loom. She'll know exactly what we mean when we do this, and we'll record a new Loom. Click up here, press custom size, select it, hit start recording. Gene, the second action that I would like you to work on is reasons for buyers. Now, if you go to the About Us page, you can find it down here on the right. And we really just need to change this text here. You can just replace it with the text that I've already written for you. Thank you. Now we've got a 22-second video that Jean can watch. We just go and make sure we've got a copy of the hyperlink right there. Go back to this node, Loom, and we paste it in. Now, you can just keep going after that. And so when Jean has finished an action, let's say she's made a change to that. If this was a project management tool, she would say done, and you would receive an email. Mm-hmm. So that might still be the best way for you to go if you're ready to start using PM software. But if you're not, she just needs to come up here and go, I'm done. Then all you do, Jean, is in Skype or whatever tool you're using to communicate, say, I've done those actions. Harry can go and look at them. And then he's got the same links. He doesn't need to remember how to get to the About Us page. He doesn't need to remember how to get to the Loom video because he can just click on them as well. Does that seem like a workable communication tool for getting tasks done that you could use, Harry, or is it a little bit too complex?
There's just a learning curve going on here, but I think it'd be good because when I'm trying to dictate to Jean what to do, it's really time consuming. Whereas I can see I can do this and then send it to her, and then she can do it at her own leisure without me rabbiting in her back ear what's happened. I think that it's worthwhile persevering with to see if we can make it work. What do you reckon, Jean?
Yeah, I think it's also a great idea to, at least by this way, we can have records of the tasks that we are doing. For example, in the future, we thought of, oh, did you do this before? I can just show you some records that
Yeah.
we've done it before.
I think the way you move things around so quickly, I can follow where it's going. It'll just be us learning the jargon, and that resolves it pretty straight away. It's because I'm just dreading sitting down with Jean page by page going through the things this afternoon. And I just wondered how long it was going to take because we want to adjust all our listings for sale and make sure they're accurate. It would be easier for me to just type what I want on that my stuff. And then June can actually work on the Directories Pro because you've got to position stuff and put it in the right field and all those sort of things that take time, and you've got to adjust the margins and what have you.
I'm going to say, you don't even need to go down the complexity of the MindMeister. It's a good way of ordering your thoughts and thinking about things. So long as you're capturing the details that you want and a visual of where it is and the links. The other technique is you just go into the Skype window that Jean is using, and you just say, I personally would go and change the title up here to make sure it's clear. Loom comes up with a title, but it's not always clear. But then you take the URL, you say, there's your first task, Jean. There's your second task. Okay. You don't need to use a project management tool. You don't need to use a mind map, but they are obviously good ways for you to have a record, an audit log of what's done, what's not done, and to have comment streams and stuff like that.
One thing I've picked up here straight away that rather than me handwrite this stuff, I spent some time learning how to type a bit more efficiently and then used a Google Doc or a Word document. Then it's easier to transcribe that stuff to Jean pretty much straight away.
Let me show you a second way of doing it, right? If you're in this document, this is Google Docs, right? You go to Tools, you turn on voice typing, say, hello, Jean, comma, today I would like you to do all the work really quickly and efficiently, blah, blah, blah. Hit stop. Why even type it?
I know she's been doing some sneaky things like that. She's not teaching me.
Do we need to talk about anything else, or is this good?
Oh, look, it's great. Jean and I'll just sort it out. I'm looking forward to coming up there, Jean, more than ever now because we could just get in the background somewhere and just
Yeah.
set the brains out.
Yep. Yeah, correct.
Both of you, if you start documenting your best practices this way, it means that you can expand your team. When you do something, Jean, and you think this is something that I need to remember to do in the future, you probably do that and you don't document it. It's so simple to document these things that if you bring on another team member, you can just say, see this mind map of our best practices. Can you go through it? And I've got little videos that tell you about each best practice. So it's a great tool for that.
David, that's invaluable. Well, I've seen here now. It's amazing. I don't know what else to say. It's good stuff. It's just learning it.
No worries.
Thank you so much, David.